Are you taking exquisite care of yourself? Are diet and lifestyle improvements on your list of things to improve this year? Yes? You're in luck. In today's video, I'm going to share tips and resources to help you create new healthy habits so that you can live well with your MS or chronic illness. So, resolutions are rarely effective. People often set lofty or high goals and want to improve and make big changes, but they often fail within weeks or even days. When researching for this video, I found that the failure rate could be as high as 91%. That's huge. Have you made resolutions that have failed? I have. Let me know in the comments below if this has happened to you. So, instead of making resolutions, I invite you to start making small improvements and commit to trying to build new healthy habits that will support our health and well-being. How's that sound? Stay till the end, where I will share how you can download my free one-page handout that you can post on your refrigerator or your mirror to remind you daily of the small changes we can make to improve our healthy habits. Today's video is going to be a bit different. I'm not going to cite the research behind the tips like I usually do, but I will put links above and below to my videos that do cite the research if you're a data geek like me, so you can go and check them out. Today, I'm going to focus on the tips and resources to help you get off to a great start. Before I jump into the tips and resources, though, I want to take a moment to share a bit of why I started this channel. I've always felt called to help people. It's in the very nature of who I am. I help my family, my friends, my church, my community, my virtual assistant clients, and hopefully you. If you enjoy my content and if it's helpful to you, it would be so awesome if you could help me to keep this channel going by sharing the channel or its videos, adding comments below the videos, liking the videos, and subscribing so I can continue to make content. Thank you so much. Okay, there's 4 areas that I'm going to focus on today: diet, exercise, sleep, and kindness through compassion and mindfulness. These 4 pillars, along with my medication, have kept me living well with my MS for over 15 years. I've also found that what gets measured gets managed. So after the tips for each area, I will share resources that you can use that are simple to use so you can track your progress and see trends that may help you continue to make improvements. Here we go. Number 1 is diet. Eating a more whole food, plant-based diet will decrease inflammation and improve our gut health. I invite you to start eating more plant-based foods. Notice I said plant-based, not plant-perfect. Let's start with baby steps. Tip number 1, shop the perimeter of the grocery store. This will keep you mostly away from the highly processed and unhealthy foods. Tip number 2, follow this rule when possible. If it's grown on a plant, eat it. If it's made in a plant, don't. Tip number 3, eat a large salad every day for lunch or dinner. I chop up a batch of veggies once or twice a week to make it easier and more convenient to make my salads. That way, I just need to add the greens, the chopped veggies, and some kind of beans, and my salad is ready in seconds. Tip number 4, add fruit smoothies as your snacks. They're a great way to increase our fruit and veggie intake. I make mine in minutes using frozen organic fruits and greens that I get at my local big box store. I also add ground flax seeds, hemp hearts, or chia seeds to increase my omega-3s. Tip number 5, keep it simple. Don't make changing your diet complicated and time-consuming. Some of my favorite nutritious meals are very simple and easy to prepare: a vegetable, a grain, and a protein like beans or tofu. A good rule of thumb from Kaiser Permanente is to fill 1/4 of our plate with plant-based protein, 1/4 with a healthy grain or starch, and 1/2 of our plate with non-starchy veggies. And I will put a link below to the full brochure from Kaiser Permanente on plant-based eating if you'd like to check it out. To help us measure our eating, we can use MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, or Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen app. I particularly like Dr. Greger's app because it's really simple. We just check off the healthy foods as we eat them. Like I said earlier, what gets measured gets managed. In all of these, we can look back at our history and see how we're doing. Next is exercise. Exercising is one of the most effective things we can do to manage our symptoms and prevent decline. Tip number 1, move regularly throughout the day. Moving our bodies multiple times a day can help with one of our biggest problems, fatigue. Think of it as exercise snacks. I try to get up and take a short walk every hour just around the interior of my house. If we take 500 to 1,000 steps each hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., that's 6,000 to 12,000 added steps every day. Tip number 2, add strength training snacks to our day too. Every time I go to the bathroom, I do 10 squats, kickbacks, or toe raises. I also do this while I'm brushing my teeth. And I also have hand weights in my office and my family room, so I can do a few reps while watching TV or attending meetings where I don't need to be on camera. Tip number 3, exercise with a buddy. If we commit to meeting someone for a walk or at the gym, we're more likely to keep our commitment to the exercise. Tip number 4, sign up for classes. If we say we're going to attend a scheduled class, we're more likely to show up for it, especially if we're paying for it. Tip number 5, ask your doctor for a referral to a physical therapist. If we go to our doctors and say we want to improve our mobility, they will happily send us for an evaluation. This can be extremely helpful because we can get advice on specific areas to focus on and specific exercises to target those areas. To help measure exercise, there are a number of tools we can use. I use my Fitbit, not only to keep track of my exercise, but I have it set to remind me to get up and walk each hour. You can also use an Apple or Google Pixel watch or an Oura ring, and I will put links to all of these in the description below. Or you can download free apps right to your phone, such as Google Fit, Pacer, or Fitbit Tracker. You don't need a Fitbit. Or MyFitnessPal or Map My Walk. All of these will work with Apple or Android phones, and they each have different features and functions, so check them out. Next is sleep. Sleep is incredibly important to our overall health and particularly our brains. Tip number 1, commit to a regular bedtime and stick to it. I find if I'm consistent with my bedtime every day, I sleep better and have much less fatigue. My friends and family now know that I love to spend time with them, but come bedtime, I wish them a good night and I head out. Tip number 2, keep the bedroom for sleeping and sex only. When we do other activities such as scroll on our phones or watch TV, we're telling our brains to be awake in the bedroom. Tip number 3, turn down the lights. As the sun starts to set, start turning down the lights in the house. This will signal our brains that it's almost time to sleep. And keep the bedroom as dark as possible too. Get light blocking shades and remove or block as many light sources as possible from our electronics. Tip number 5, get outside every morning. Getting outside in natural daylight in the mornings will help set our natural circadian rhythms, so we'll be more awake during the day and sleep better at night. Bonus if you can connect with the earth. Earthing has some compelling research behind it that shows it can increase energy, reduce inflammation, reduce pain, and reduce stress. Would you be interested in seeing a video on the benefits of earthing? Let me know in the comments below. The tools we can use to help us measure our sleep are mostly in the forms of wearable devices, such as Fitbits, Apple or Google watches, or Oura rings. But something as simple as writing down when we go to bed each night and get up each morning can help us spot trends such as, man, I feel lousy every Sunday, and then find out we're staying up 2 hours later on Saturday nights than we normally do during the week. Next is kindness through compassion and mindfulness. Tip number 1, notice when negative thoughts come into our heads and try to turn them around. For example, instead of thinking, my friends don't get how hard it is to live with MS, turn it around to, I have MS and I know it can be difficult for my friends to understand. I need to remember to remind them that I love to see them and to participate, but I may not be able to do it each time, and I need to remind them to keep inviting me. Or, I hate that I can't clean my whole house. My body's so useless. Turn it around to, I can no longer clean the whole house, but I can do 3 or 4 10-minute tidies and get a lot done without wearing myself out. See the difference? It's a subtle shift, more compassionate towards others and ourselves. Tip number 2, start doing mindfulness activities each day. Schedule it so it becomes part of our routines, like drinking our morning coffee or brushing our teeth. Heck, make drinking our coffee or brushing our teeth our first mindful activities of the day. Commit to focusing just on the act of drinking the coffee without distractions, or just brushing our teeth. Be present. One of the small ways that I started a mindfulness practice was committing to taking 10 mindful breaths each day when I get into bed and 10 more when I get out of bed. A mindful breath is simply taking a long, slow, deep breath while focusing on the breath. Tip number 3 is to incorporate mindful breathing when stressed. One of the best breaths to do when stressed is to take a double inhale breath. Take a deep breath in through the nose, then take an extra sip of breath and let it out through the mouth. It goes like this. Do this 2 or 3 times. It switches our nervous system from sympathetic, alert and stressed, to parasympathetic, to calm. Tip number 4, start a meditation practice. Again, like drinking our coffee or brushing our teeth, set aside time each day to do this as part of our self-care. It doesn't have to be long. It can be just 5 or 10 minutes. Tip number 5, focus on gratitude. Start a gratitude journal or a gratitude jar. Each day, write down 1 to 3 things we're grateful for at the end of the day. This simple practice has been shown to greatly improve our happiness. Some tools that we can use to help us with kindness, compassion, and mindfulness are meditation apps such as Calm, Headspace, Insight Timer, or one of my favorites, the Deepak Chopra 21-day meditation experiences. There are also gratitude apps such as Gratitude, Presently, and Delightful. And again, I will include links below to all of these resources. Committing to more healthier habits may help us improve our health, reduce our symptoms, reduce our risk of disease progression, and possibly reduce or avoid the need for some medications. My wish for you for this upcoming year is that you can create habits that will increase your health and well-being. Please see the link below to access the free download of my one-page list of tips and resources to help you create healthy habits this year. My wish for you this year is an abundance in health and well-being. I encourage you to make small, steady changes to support your health and well-being, to start creating lifelong habits that will support your body and soul to live well with your MS or chronic illness. The question of the day is, what will you change this year to improve your health and well-being? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, the like icon under the video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Until next time, be well.